So hello everybody, warm welcome and thank you all for joining this call. Our host Nadja is not yet online, but maybe she will come is short. So I'm just starting this recall. You all get the replay later. It will be a YouTube link. I registered also your email address on the list, so you will receive this at the end of the call. My name is Tamara Stegeman. I'm from the Netherlands and I met Nadja in the ESB in Paris. And we had a lovely connection and we talked a lot about family constellation because I'm also a family constellation therapist beside access consciousness. And she invited me to come to Slovenia for this class. And she also invited me to do this Zoom tonight for you and for all the people that are interested. So we could talk about family constellations and family in general. So I just wanted to introduce myself quick. I'm Tamara. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm 41 years old. Being a single mom with 2 grown-up children. Running access consciousness tools for 1.5 years now. Hello, Nadja.
Hello. Sorry. Yeah, I was waiting and then I didn't, and I just went for a coffee and I totally forgot for the time.
I was just already introducing myself because I just pressed record and I told you everybody that there will be a replay and that we met in lovely Paris during the ESP and that we talked about family constellations and that I will do a class in Slovenia next October. And that this was a subject for us to talk about. So thank you. I'm just going to give the word to you for just a few seconds so I can sip my coffee now.
Okay. Cool. I just want to say hi to all Slovenian people. Tako da živijo, pozdravljeni, če bo kdo rabo kakršenkoli prevod ali pa karkoli že vmes ali pa da bi želel kdo karkoli vprašati, naj pomaha, mislim naj se da na unmute, pa lahko tudi jaz prevedem kako vprašanje, ki ga boste zastavili Tamari in lahko tudi pol prevedem odgovor. Drugač bom pa klas naknadno prevedla, pa dobite posnetek na mail. So I just told them that I could translate their questions and then your answers, and if they want to ask something or add something or anything, I'm here. So just, yeah.
So can you please also translate that there is a chat and that you will watch the chat. If people have questions, they don't have to unmute, but they can also write it down in the chat.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Tukaj imamo tudi tale chat, pogovor, message ali kakorkoli in lahko tudi svoje vprašanja napišete tja, ne rabite se v bistvu dati na unmute in bom jaz prebrala in prevedla in Tamara bo odgovorila in bom prevedla tudi to. Tako da lahko ste aktivni na tem chatu. Spodaj imate v urodni vrstici ta gumbek za klepet in sam tja upišete. In bomo. Cool, thank you.
Okay, awesome. So I just was explaining that I'm also a family constellation therapist, and this was because my family is kind of screwed up. And I hope I'm allowed to speak the verbal languages that most connects to the energy that is actually going on in my family. So everything I say is total rubbish. Everything I say is like bullshit. Until you just get a sense of like, hey, just give me a second. Maybe this is true. Maybe this works for me as well. And this is the only time I'm asking you to buy whatever it is I'm telling you. And if it doesn't fit you, just throw it in the garbage as soon as this call is over.
Okay.
So maybe if there is, and maybe you could just translate this part, because I think it's important that no one ever thinks that I told them this is the absolute truth. I just want everybody to know that they can pick whatever they need in this call.
Okay, so I will translate something. Tamara pravi, da vse, kar bo ona povedala, ne rabite kupiti pa narediti za resnično, ampak da še zmeri zaznavate svojo lahkotnost, kaj deluje za vas in pač temu sledite. Tako da bomo pa skupaj ful veliko stvari ozavestili in dovolite si čim več prejeti, pa čim bolj bodite aktivni, to bi vas rada še povabila in dajte si res ta seminar vzeti zase in bodite doprinos s svojimi vprašanji, karkoli pač si želite izvedeti oziroma ozavestiti. Cool. I add something on my own.
I could sense the energy that there was some extra. Yeah, that's awesome. So, Nadja, we met in Paris and we did some body processes and we did some clearings. Am I allowed to do some clearings as well, just to get the energy started from this night?
Yes, please.
Awesome. Awesome. So I just want everybody to be invited to sit in a chair with comfortable energy. So maybe we can push down our barriers just a little bit. So you can receive and perceive the energy that is available for you tonight in this call, so you get the most out of it as you would like to. So everything that is holding you from receiving and perceiving the energy about families, about relationships, about connections, about blame, shame, guilt, and regret within the family, not even yours, but maybe just mutualized in the family, will you consider releasing this energy just for this next upcoming hour?
Yes.
Whew. Good, bad, wrong, right, pock, pot, all nine, short, boys, and beyond. So I'm using the clearing statement, and everything about the clearing statement is registered at www.theclearingstatement.com. So you can look it up. Maybe Nadja, you can write it down in the chat for people who are new to Access Consciousness, so they can look it up. Whatever the heck I'm saying with this clearing statement. So everything that brought up, everything that you're thinking about right now, as soon as I start talking about obligations and committees and filters and promises and guilt, shame, blame, and regret in families, everything that brought up, will you now revoke, recant, resent, renounce, destroy, and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Get that on right, pock, pot, all nine, short, boys, and beyonds. Because, you know, we all come from a family. And I'm going to dive in deep because this is just the material and I just need to explain the way things like this go. You can see it as a big pile of stones. They're all tumbled on each other and they're like steady. As soon as you take one stone out of this lump of stones, the stones will start wiggling. So this is telling you that everybody has his own fixed and steady place in the family. So maybe it's the grandparents, and up on top of the grandparents are your parents, and on top of that it's you, and on top of that is your children. And if you get one piece of the family and you take it out of this wall of stones, it might tumble. So everybody in the family starts wiggling and moving to hold on, so all the rocks could be steady again. Is this clear? Is this a strong explanation about what happens in families?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Because for me it's like easy peasy lemon squeezy, but maybe not for everybody. So
yeah, maybe sounds easy peasy, but actually it's not. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not. I know, but everybody has his own perfect spot in families, and as soon as something enters in a family or somebody is taken out of family or died, the stones has to tumble again and have to find their new spot. So sometimes you're like in the family more the mother than the daughter, or you're more the mom than the sister, or you're more the dad than the grandson. Because sometimes it's just the way things go in families, but you can sense that the spot you're on doesn't actually belong to you, but you're obligated to do so because otherwise the family would break down. Mm-hmm. So everybody who's sensing this energy, will you please, please, please acknowledge yourself for the huge contribution you're just providing for your family, even though this was never meant to be. Everything that brought up. Or you now revoke, recenter, center, nonce, destroy, and create it all. Times gazillion, good, bad, wrong, right, pock, pots, all nine, short, boys, and beyond. So, sometimes it's just rough being in a family. There's a lot of things happened in the past. And sometimes you just feel like you don't have another opportunity or another choice to create something for yourself just because you grew up on this spot or on this family. But when you were born, actually there was a promise for you. A loving, sweet, soft and gentle, caring spot with nurturing moms and dads, nurturing grandpas and grandmas. And actually, they all try to be that. But sometimes they're just carrying lots and lots of burdens from their ancestors. Or maybe your grandma never was actually a daughter. Maybe she was a wife from the minute she was born. So you get the energy that the shifts can be done within families. I just wanted to explain something, and it's personal about my family, but I just wanted to explain how I turned up to be a family constellation therapist. My mom never was in relationship with me. I really missed my mom. My mom was almost all of the time outside of the family. She didn't want to be inside of the family. At least I thought she didn't want it to be. So I started asking questions. How come my mom is never around? How come I do have a mom, but I don't sense her love? How come my mom is never a mom? And then I start running questions, not like access consciousness questions, but just giving myself a blame for not being sweet enough. I was a rude daughter. I was a violent, angry puberty. I was like extremely angry with my mom, and my mom could never do. And then I realized it's not all, it doesn't have to do anything with me. So I went to a constellation therapist and asked this question: how come I always fight my mom or my sister? And as soon as I stop fighting my sister, I start fighting my mom again, and the other way around. And they did a family constellation, and they found out that my grandma lost 5 children. The first child was my mom. The second child was born deaf. It died during labor. The third one died like within 12 weeks. So it was a miscarriage. The second one, the fourth one died during labor, and the fifth one was also premature and died as well. So my mom saw her mom 5 times pregnant, and never there was a baby. And excuse me. And the 6th time, my grandma got pregnant again, and my mom was like really waiting for a baby. And this time a baby did come, but it was hospitalized because it has a heart problem. So my grandma stayed in the hospital for months. So actually, if you just rewind this story, my mom saw her mom being pregnant several times, but never saw how her mom was being a mom to her siblings. So my mom never got any other example by her mom what it was like to be a mom. The only thing she saw was like what it is to be pregnant. So my mom got pregnant 5 times and left the family after giving birth because she didn't have any clue what it was about to raise children. So as soon as this family constellation was done and the therapist pointed this to me, there was so much feeling inside of my body that this is finally, it was true. I felt warm, I felt loved, I felt connected. It was like, yay, I'm finally getting, this has nothing to do with me. I'm not being bad, I'm not being rude, I'm not being not wanted. It's nothing about that. It's just this family problem, this issue that is within our family that created such a suffer for my mom that I couldn't be angry with her anymore. But of course, it raised also a lot of questions. So I went home and I was like, okay, now I need to know if this is for real. because this therapist could have been telling me stories. So I called up my grandma with red blushy cheeks because I was almost too scared to ask her. And I asked her if it was possible that she miscarried. And she said, oh yeah, girl, I already told you. That's not a big of deal. I lost 5 children. I'm like, what? So you see, this therapist never could have known my stories. She couldn't have. But in family constellations, if you're running a constellation, the energy is still there. And this is why I think access consciousness is such a contribution even for this family constellation, because it's all about reading the energy and knowing what you know. And reading the energy by seeing this constellation. And this therapist that I joined did this so extremely well for me. She gave me so much missing pieces of the puzzle that I couldn't collect on my own, that I was like, wow. And that special evening when I did this constellation was the first time that I felt completely accepted, welcome, and at ease in my family. And I was like, this is what everybody in the fucking world needs to find out and experience just for this one time, even if it's just this one time.
Cool.
So Nadja, maybe this is a lot to cope in, and you didn't translate anything. Thank you for not interrupting me, but maybe there are some questions about this. So can you ask if there is?
Okay. Magdo, mogoče kakšno vprašanje v zvezi s tem? Vem, da tisti, ko mogoče ne razumete tako dobro angleško, niste zdaj mogli, mislim, verjetno tudi nimate na podlagi tega kakih vprašanj. Can I just summarize it very quickly?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Tamara je razlagala v bistvu svojo zgodbo, kako je ona prišla do tega, do v bistvu tematike postavitve družine in koliko je v bistvu postala terapevtka in kakšna je njena zgodba v ozadju. Ko je bila ona prvič na tej delavnici, je v bistvu izvedela, da pač je njena babica izgubila 5 otrok in prvi otrok je bila pač njena mami in potem je bila 5-krat noseča in vsi otroci so umrli, tako da njena mama je dejansko videla 5-krat nosečo svojo mamo in noben nikoli ni bilo pač dojenčka, oziroma so otroci zelo hitro umrli. In dejansko tukaj je bila ena nabrana energija, ki je pač zaznavala tudi Tamara, ker je pač prej ni imela lahkotnosti, niti v zvezi s svojo mamo, vedno je šla pač v napačnost sebe. In dejansko na podlagi tega zavedanja, dejansko kaj se je zgodilo njeni babici, je ona prvič prišla do občutka, da je sprejeta, da dejansko ni nič narobe za njo, občutila je lahkotnost, ljubezen dejansko v svoji družini in koliko nam ta stališča dejansko, ki se jih niti ne zavedamo, ampak energija je še vedno prisotna in dejansko, če bi to odklenili, bi se lahko celo naše življenje spremenilo. Tako na kratko bomo pa itak še podrobno prevedeli. Pa če ima zdaj kdo v zvezi s tem kakršnokoli vprašanje ali pa podobno zgodbo, lahko napišete v klepet, pa bomo vprašali. Cool, thank you. Wow, awesome story. I mean, yeah. I have few questions, but just about family and everything and what I'm doing and what I perceive and actually what you helped me to acknowledge and what I'm still doing. So just let me know when I can ask.
You can ask anything, just perceive the energy, and if you think this is the right time for you to ask the question, feel free. No, well, okay. What?
Yeah.
Feel free to join and just interrupt me whenever you think it's necessary.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell this story because it is my family story, but this is the way I got connected with family constellation, and I saw the value of this. And it changed my life for the better because I was finally accepting myself for everything who I am and not blaming myself anymore. Mm-hmm. So in traditional manners, in a family constellation, your dad always stands in the first seat. Your mom comes second, and then the firstborn, even if the firstborn is a miscarriage, the firstborn is always the firstborn. Even though they might be deceased already. They're the older son and daughter, and they're supposed to be like that. So if a mom miscarried 5 times and she has 2 born children that survived this and alive, she has 7 children, not 2 but 7. And this is really important because most of the time in families, the premature or miscarried children aren't counted for, and therefore families are unstable to start with, because these children, they do have their own sacred spot. So everywhere that anybody who is listening, who has a miscarriage or lost a child and didn't connected it in the line and didn't acknowledge it, it's just a good time for you to acknowledge it and give it the space, the sacred place that this child deserves, but was forgotten or mistaken for. So I hope you can see that this is really important, because in my family there wasn't, we didn't speak about these 5 children, but these 5 children made a huge difference in my life. And now I totally get it, why I always want to take care of small children, always want to take care of the youngest. And I didn't know why, but now I do, because they need to be acknowledged, they need to be seen, they need to be loved, they need to be nurtured. So this is all like in my DNA. It's like in the family system. And family constellations could bring this up. Even if your parents lost a child and never spoke about it, in a family constellation, this will show. And this might show. It doesn't have to show, but it might show.
Okay.
So
can I ask something there?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you said that like you have to take, it's still your choice, yeah? But
Yeah.
it's like you can be a really big contribution there, and because like maybe you're enjoying doing this, but I would just like to say that it's still your choice, doing this, taking care of youngest and contributing to all young people, children. But now you have like more clarity why you are, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I totally get it now, why there is such a craving inside of me to take care of these young children. Why I'm not so easily disconnected, because in my day, this is my venue. I do a lot of access consciousness stuff, but I'm also running a daycare because I just love these small children, and it's really giving me a hard time because I wanted to quit this, and it's difficult. So there are a few contracts and binds with me and these small children that maybe doesn't even belong to them, but it's more inside of my family. But it's just the way I'm acting.
Yeah, because I was like doing something, and I acknowledge where it comes from, and then just by acknowledging it, I could stop doing this, because it was from my, for example, grandmother, and I was like doing some pattern, and then when I acknowledge it where it comes from, I can choose to stop doing this. But if you like, just to yeah, can you talk maybe a little bit more about how we like automatically pick up things, or how we doing actually biomimetic mimicry from our parents, and how can we like change this? Because I acknowledge that I didn't want to be like my mother, and then because I was resisting it, I was doing exactly the opposite thing, and maybe my children would be like my mother again, you know, because they would do. So how can we stop this pattern, like, and how can we? Do you have some clearing code? I don't know. What's your acknowledgement about this? Just to be us. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that question. That's awesome. First of all, when we were born, we were in symbiotic relationship with our moms. So when we were young, we totally depended on our moms. So as soon as mom got a little bit sick, we started to be a little bit more kind. So mom doesn't feel really bad, so that mom is getting better. And so you are getting better because you were so young and totally dependent on your mom. And this is like, we call this symbiotic relationships. This was necessary when you were a young child. This is kind of your surviving skills, just helping your mom out. But we kind of forgot that the umbilical cord has cut off for a long time already. And we're still trying to give mom the best of everything that is possible. But there's also another part of this. There's also lots of contracts, obligations, oath, vows, communities, fealties, promises, obligations, sworn oaths, and all this energy everywhere where you promised in this lifetime or in previous lifetimes that you will do everything that's in your power to keep the family healthy. Will you now please consider to release all these contracts? All these
Yes.
Yes. Everything that is times a gazillion, good and bad, wrong and right, pocket pots, all nine, short, boys and beyonds. So how many times did you tell your mom that you will give your life for her? Or your dad? Or many times did your mom said that she would give her life for you?
Yeah.
Do we actually die?
No.
So how many lifetimes did we give our parents and our relationships and our families these promises that we do everything with our blood and flesh and heart and everything we owe, that we will give it to them if necessary in this lifetime? But this lifetime never stops. So it means forever and ever in all eternity. Amen. So everything that is, will you now please give it up?
Yes.
Give it back. Reject.
Yes.
But also unhex, uncurse, unvoodoo, unmagic, untwist, untangle, and untwist. So you can release everything back to Mother Earth so she could create something awesome out of this. Everything that is times a gazillion, and now revoke, recant, resent, renounce, destroy, and uncreate it all. Good, bad, wrong, right, pock, pot, all nine, short, boys, and beyonds.
It was intense.
That's intense. Yeah, I know it is. But let's also uncreate it the other way around. Everywhere we hold people's promises still alive because they didn't fulfill all the promises. Will you please consider giving up all these oaths, vows, and communities they have opened for you and didn't fulfill completely?
Yes.
Thank you. Good, bad, wrong, right, pop, pots, all nine, short, boys, and beyonds. Because it goes one way and the other way around. We also hold on to promises that aren't fulfilled yet. So, does this answer your question? The biomimetic pathways.
Yeah, you open a new space. But I'm already fried.
Yeah. So,
I need to get my bars run.
oh, that's a nice suggestion. So for everybody who is feeling fried up now, will you consider lowering your barriers again and expand?
Yes, because I perceive that I'm still resisting to every clearing you said. I mean, but I'm choosing to change this.
So how many loyalties are you still holding on to and hiding yourself from? Just let me perceive this. So how many promises are you holding on to so you would never have to step into the full light because you can blame them?
Oh, it's easier to blame others.
Yeah, it's so easy to pinpoint others for everything. So everything that is, will you release, destroy, and uncreate them now?
Yes.
Good, bad, wrong, right, pock, pots, all nine, short, boys, and beyonds. Awesome. Awesome. Because, we're most of the time we haven't been taught that we have to stand on our own 2 feet and acknowledge everything it is that we know. It's much more easy to say, yeah, but my mom did this, or but my dad forget to tell me or learn or teach me, or he was also always outside of the family. It's so easy to blame other people for your pathways, but actually we're creating everything on our own. So everywhere we're playing hide and seek, blaming, shaming, and regretting, and pinpointing to other people's for our pains and pathways. Will you now please consider releasing them?
Yes.
Good, bad, wrong, right, puzzle 9, short, boys and beyonds. And if it's okay with you, I wanted to go to Anton, because Anton mentioned something in the chat, but it was a little bit too much for me to speak English and read English, so just give me a second.
Okay, can I just add something there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and when your parents or one of them blame you for like being you or something, just tell them, like manipulate with them and create more ease. Just tell them, say to your mother, for example, hey mom, you know what? I'm just the way I am just because of you. I'm like, now everything I have created, I am in the world, I'm just because of you. I'm so grateful for you. And then she will stop blaming you, because like she will thought that you are the product of her, so she would have to blame herself, and you will have like better relationship. I mean, it works.
I love reverse psychology. I love it. Yeah, but you have to mean it, because otherwise she will cut you.
You have to mean it for these 10 minutes. Like seriously, you have to be like present. Yeah.
In Access Consciousness, when you go to foundation, you will be taught that there is an explanation about the word family. And family, yeah, you're already laughing, because when you spell it down, it's like Family, fucked up, and mainly interested in limiting you. That's family. It's their obligation to limit you. And I just wanted to explain this just for a second, because I think it's rather funny, but it's true. Family is all about holding you in the box, keeping you in the box, keeping you predictable, not to be ashamed about, because they love you. They totally love you. They want you to be the same way they are, because that's what this reality expects of them. But guess what? We're humanoids. We don't fit in the box. I tell most of the people, I tell them, we got a tail, and the suit that we're trying to fit in doesn't have a hole for our tail, so it will never fit comfortable. So as soon as you start trying to wiggle your tail outside of this suit, it does strange, and it makes strange noises, and your family doesn't like it when you make strange noises and go like, ew. It's like, be normal, stop acting out, get here. We don't do that. No, in our family we don't talk that language. No, you're supposed to take care of your ancestors, you're supposed to have this job, you have to supposed to have this house, you've been at this certain age, you should have a bank account with blah blah blah, that kind of income, and you're supposed to have 1.6 children, and you're supposed to whatever. That's what family does. They hold you inside of the box that they grow up in, because they don't know anything else. But do you know that we're supposed to outgrow our parents? This is like, we live in a world where the world is growing. We're in this evolution. So we're supposed to be smarter than our parents. We're supposed to be brighter and quicker and everything that they're up and holding us back for. So, can you still hear me? Because
yeah.
Okay.
We can. I just unmute.
Oh, I was like, oh, serious? I didn't hear anything at all. I was like, whoa, what happened? Okay, perfect. No, that's perfect. Because, so we're obligated to outgrow our parents, to be smarter, to be faster, to be outrageous, to be everything that they're not. We're supposed to. So as long as they try to keep us inside of the box and we're fighting to get out, maybe we just stop fighting and just be our beautiful selves.
Wow.
Yeah. Are there any more questions?
Maybe you can answer to because I have a few more questions, of course, but
yeah, Anton
I can read what Anton said.
Anton said that he was inviting people to learn more about family constellation because this call is too short to explain properly. I totally just lost the word. This goes so
agree.
I totally agree on that one, because this is why I'm coming to Slovenia.
Yeah.
in October. To tell people and to explain more about family constellation. And yeah, this call is too short about it. So I just wanted to give a short information about
Can you maybe talk a little bit more about creating a new reality family? I mean, you know, because our children will be more potent than us, because every being choose their parents, and they choose like two persons who cannot limit you. I mean, you chose your parents, and you chose two beings, two persons who cannot limit you. So what about our children, and how can we create our new family, and how can we go like beyond this fucked up and mainly interested in limiting us? How can we create more the space of contribution?
I just loved it. Yeah, that's totally true. It just starts by acknowledging the potency we truly are.
Okay.
Like this just beautiful for you to bring this up. We chose our parents just because we know that we can outgrow them. We know we can control them. We know we can dominate them. Baby knows exactly how to manipulate her mom or her dad. You're supposed to. So please start accepting your children to do the same shitty shit to you as well, because they're supposed to. They chose you because you will hold up the beautiful mirrors for them to see what they have to learn, so they can outgrow this reality. And then maybe we should just start accepting them for who they are, because I got 2 children and they were pronounced to be autistic. They're not. They're totally not. But in this reality, it's better for me to give them a stamp, at least I thought it was, so that there could be a little bit more doors opened for them to know what they know and to be who they truly are. So now I learned about access consciousness and that they're actually X-Men. They're like, have superpowers. And I'm so proud to be a mom with 2 children with superpowers. Like, how did I get so lucky that they chose me to become superpowers and spread their wings from my nest? I'm just being so thankful for this opportunity that I could raise children like this. It is also kind of a reverse psychology, but it's like for the benefit of them. Maybe we could support them more. Maybe we could give them more space, teach them about opening up the energy instead of staying close in the box. And maybe we just should lead by example.
Okay. And maybe we should empower them. I mean, you know, most of the parents play superior to their children. So can you talk about this? Because my mom once told me, we will never be friends. I'm your mom and you will do what I will say. And yeah, it's totally disempowering me, and it's based on fighting, I mean, to proving that I am right and she is wrong, and that for me works something different. And then when I just acknowledge that I'm like the infinite being as she is, and that I'm not less, and I didn't have to prove anything to her, or just my life changed. I mean, and now we are actually friends.
Yeah,
And then I empower like many parents play that they know better what works for their children. So I think it's really important to empower our children to follow their knowing to what works for them, and to give them all the information and told them that we love them. I mean, you should say to your children, I love you, but I love me as well. And it's still your choice, and we should have their back, because sometimes I think this is really important, that children still choose by themselves, and that we are there for them. I mean, I don't have children yet, but I have workshops for children, and I love their company, and I learn a lot from them. And they are really just in small bodies, but they are also infinite beings. So
yeah, but they also need the fight.
Yeah,
they need to fight their mom and dad, because this is the safe playground for them to teach how they can strengthen their muscles, how they can get by the resistance that they will have in this reality. You know, we go to a new dimension, and a new dimension is about not being in the fight anymore, but we're still in this fight. So yes, we should nurture our children. Yes, we should feed our children. Yes, we should encourage them and love them a lot. Love them a lot, giving them credit for what they know, trusting their abilities, trusting their skills, but also allowing them to smack on the floor and start drooling all over you and cry like a baby, because they need to strengthen their muscles. So your mom, like the relationship with your mom, you chose her because she strengthens your muscles. She knows how to push your buttons. She knows how she could give you the strength to go and have your own children when you're ready for it. You choose some lessons, and you choose your parents to go beyond these lessons. So you got the strength to go out in the world and do what you came for. And open the doors that you... But if you got weak muscles, you don't know how to open the door. You have to fight. This is like just the way it is. But as soon as you start having children, let's be the invitation for them to know what they know, and don't put a lid on everything they know, because then they have to fight the same way we did to regain our strength and our knowing.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
And teach children, please, to lower their barriers and expand. And when they're young, they know with the speed of light how it is for them to lower barriers. It's easy. We call it difficult, but children do it like second birth, like nature. Just play with them.
Cool.
Yeah, so if there's still another question.
Yeah, it's Vesna is asking what you do when family want to fix you in this box, and of course you don't want to be in this box.
Okay, there's this first question that comes up: to who does this belong? The first tool, and one of the tools of access consciousness, is you could ask the question, to who does this belong to? Because this wanting from them does belong to them. It doesn't have to do anything what you're supposed to do, so you can give it back to them and just pock and pot everything that brought up to you. Because just give me just 1 second. If it doesn't belong to you, you could fight it. You could also return it to sender with consciousness.
Okay, Cool. And maybe you can talk a little bit more about what does allowance mean and how can we have allowance to our relatives or children or whatever. Because I think with allowance, you are already out of the box.
Yeah. Actually, there's another tool, and that's interesting point of view.
Yeah.
The interesting point of view tool is such an awesome and dynamic tool. As soon as my mom says to me that I need to brush my teeth 3 times a day, and I think 1 time is enough, it's an interesting point of view that she thinks that I should brush my teeth 3 times. It's just like a simple example, but at the end, if I don't brush my teeth enough, I have to go to the dentist, and they will drill a hole in my teeth, and I will cry like a baby because it hurts. But as long as I don't go to the dentist with a hole in my teeth and it doesn't hurt, I think it's an interesting point of view that she has the point of view that I have to brush my teeth 3 times a day. So this is just one example. If she's telling me that I should raise my children with a smack once in a while, it's an interesting point of view that she has that point of view. It's just her point of view, not mine. If my daughter comes into a room and there's an aunt with a smelly breath and she wants to kiss my daughter doesn't want to be kissed by this aunt, I will never tell my daughter that she has to. Mm-hmm. Why should we? Why couldn't we accept that everybody is just having a point of view of their own? It's just their point of view. And as soon as you can see everything that your family is asking or demanding of you, because most of the time it feels like a demand, you could say, interesting point of view, you have that point of view. And if you're demanding it from yourself because you feel obligated, maybe it's just an interesting point of view, you have that point of view yourself. Mm-hmm. Can you feel the difference that you're like zooming out of the content and just like, wow, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Interesting point of view, they have that point of view. Nothing more. And of course, sometimes you have to do things you rather wouldn't. And then there's this 10-second increment thing. So you can decide, okay, I have to go to this boring birthday party because I'm supposed to, because my niece is turning 16 and it's important, blah, 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 blah. Okay, maybe you think you should go. Maybe you think you're obligated to go. You could go and after 10 seconds say, okay, this was not a good idea, and just leave. Because the only thing they actually wanted of you was that you came. Did you? There's no one telling you should come and stay at least for 6 hours and do the dishes and clean the garbage can and just, it's not like that. You could even manipulate it a little bit if you think it's fun.
Yeah, awesome. Actually, I want to ask something very similar, because I stopped going to these family dinners and blah blah blah, and I realized that I contribute to them more. And when my brother, for example, was in hospital, I was so buying into the story and agreeing with their points of view when I was physically present there, and I was contributing more to him when I wasn't in hospital, but I was present with him like energetically. Can you talk a little bit more about that? I mean, how can we, because always when I think of my mother or somebody from my family, I perceive the energy, I perceive how they be right now, and we are connected even if we are not like physically present. And previously when I was resisting that, when I was just want to stay away from my family, I couldn't create in my life what I truly desire, because there were some I don't know, points I didn't want to see. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because as soon as you start keeping people out of your life, you're actually not receiving everything you could receive.
Yeah.
When you push people out of your family system, maybe this is not just exactly the way you did, but I just wanted to make this clear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you shove people out of your family, out of your existence, out of your awareness, you just say to the universe that you're not ready to receive and perceive everything. Because actually, the people you don't want to meet up with are also a contribution to your life. Even if you think it's fucked up. Even if you think they're just there to hurt you, they're just to exclude you, they're just to fraud patrol you, actually there are a contribution to you. And as soon as you start neglecting those energies, you're opening a door and losing energy on the other side. So perceiving the energy of people is a totally different kind of energy. When you're most wanted in a hospital and you're not capable of going there, you could contribute energetically. Sometimes, if a baby is born, the mom wants the whole family in there, but the doctors don't like it if all the family come into the labor room. And it's just, maybe it's a strange subject, but you could energetically contribute to the mom, supporting her, letting her know that she's loved, giving her the strength. That's awesome. That's not pushing somebody out. It's just being with them in energy. And sometimes that's being more contribution than actually showing up physically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just not possible. If your mom and dad live on the other side of the world, it's not possible always for you to come with your physical body, but we can telepathic communicate with people. Can you be sitting in this chair and being in Spain on that beautiful beach that you've been last year or a couple years ago? Can you be there in just a second? Yes, you can. Can you be with your mom and dad right now? Yes, you can. Can you be with your brothers and sisters, even if they're not in this world, maybe in the spirit world? Can you connect to them? Yes, you can. With the speed of light. It's a capacity we all have, but majority of the people don't like to communicate this way because it's not coming from here. You can't explain it, so maybe it doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. But family constellation is all about this energy works. It's not about physical and logical, because in family constellation we also work with people who are in the spirit world. Mm-hmm. Okay. It doesn't matter if people passed over or are physically in this world.
Okay, I have one question more. I just remember one of my clients asked last week, and I would ask you the same, and I'm interested what your awareness is. Can we actually affect on somebody else, for example, in relationship, like creating your relationship? Can you just by pulling energy from somebody affect on his or choices or her choices? I mean, can you explain more about that topic?
Well, that's a huge topic actually, so I won't go in too deep right now, but yes, of course you can change anything. Because you're a potent bitch.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can pull energy from everybody. You can push any energy to people who need it. You can blow people off their socks with your energy. So will you acknowledge the potency you truly be?
Yes. Let's acknowledge it, everybody.
Yeah, let's acknowledge it, because this is just, we think we can't, but oh yes we can. Mm-hmm. Do you know when you come into a room when there's a big argument, you can sense the energy? Mm-hmm. And you can light it up with the speed of light? Mm-hmm. So are you that potent, Nadja, that you can change people?
Yes. It feels light, but I'm resisting to believe it.
So how did you get so lucky, and why are you pretending to be so shy that when you start laughing, you light up the whole room?
Yeah, cool. Thank you for your contribution.
Yeah. And thank you for yours, because you created this call, and let me see, there's 24 people online, and most of the people are still online for 1 hour, and this also is information for you to acknowledge. That's awesome.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I see a Slovenian.
One question more. Like she's asking, their parents don't want to talk to her like for years, and she is now 50. She's asking, what's right about this? I mean, yeah, their parents didn't want to talk to her for years, and yeah, she's maybe in a wrongness right now, so maybe you can tell more about that.
Yeah, most of the time there are, I'm just perceiving that there are some secrets in this energy, in this family, and she did stuff that upset their parents, and maybe they're not even aware themselves that there is this huge secret. And sometimes when children are being stubborn, the family is just trying to hold on to promises and obligations inside of the family. And most of the time, it does have to do with shame or blame or regret for things that maybe there could be lots and lots of things going on, but most of the time there is something that has to do with guilt, shame, blame, or regret. Mm-hmm. And you just have to acknowledge your parents, I would say to her, because it was Katja. Mm-hmm. What was her name? Vesna. So Vesna, sorry for not pronouncing your name right. So maybe you could acknowledge the burden that your parents are holding on and trying to cope with. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, it doesn't have to do anything with you. It's just the information that's in the family that they are trying to hold on, to survive, to cover up. Maybe they even try to not hurt you by not talking to you. Sometimes when you're doing a family constellation, you can see that even parents are covering up their mouth like this. And then you know that there's information that's not to be spoken about. Or you can see that people are looking outside of the room. They don't want to be in the relationship. Maybe traumatizing stuff happened outside of the family. Mm-hmm. There could be lots and lots and lots of information about this, why this situation is created. But most of the time, it doesn't have to do a fuck about you.
Yeah. So
please acknowledge yourself and acknowledge the pain and the pathways that your parents are walking.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What a class.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would invite everybody, if this feels like a contribution, I just want to do a brief practice for everybody, but I'm fully aware of the potency of this. I'm not going to speak more about it. It's just something that you could do. If there is somebody in your family that you're feeling like you have guilt for them, or you want to say things to them that you're not supposed to, or you don't dare to speak up to them, just see yourself in a space, sitting in a chair, and invite this person to come sit in a chair across you in a distance that it feels safe for you. So just visualize yourself sitting in a chair and visualize a chair across the room that feels safe for you, and invite this person to come sit in this chair, and this person will not speak to you unless you invite them to speak. So know that you're completely safe. Just invite them to come in. Yeah, Nadja, I know this can bring goosebumps or maybe even some emotions. Just acknowledge the emotions for being there and thank your body for bringing it up, because you don't have to go into trauma or anything. You just have to sense the things that show up and just say thank you to your body, and you can release it now. Okay, so invite this person into the chair next to you and start talking to this person and tell them the things you want to tell them. And when you're done telling them everything that you're willing to tell them and share with them, even if it's a deceased person, you're invited to put them in the chair and ask them to listen to you. And when you're done talking, you could hand them over all the energy that you were carrying for them that's not yours at all. Just hand it over and say, you know, I've been carrying this for a long, long time, and I did it because I totally love you, but it's not mine. And I want you to keep it so you can resolve whatever you need to resolve with this. You can release yourself. It's just a matter of being polite, acknowledging yourself, acknowledging the other, invite them so you can release the burden you are carrying for people that most of the time wasn't intentionally yours. They didn't give it to you because they wanted to get rid of it. They just gave it to you because they thought you could carry it around for just a little bit, and they didn't know they could get it back.
Wow. I could practice that all night. I just realized I have so many people I want to put them in a chair.
Yeah, just be polite, you know, just do it from the heart, not like throwing stuff at their feet. It's not about that. It's just about being the invitation for them to come and to take the energy to them again, so that they can resolve their issues as well. Because as long as we're holding on to everything and all the energies that doesn't belong to us, they can't get done with the information as well. They have open wounds still and can't recover. So just give it back to them. Mm-hmm. And if it's not theirs, they will now be allowed to give it back to those that it actually belongs to.
Yeah, I just perceive that something is already changing. Until we do this exercise from the space of gratitude, I mean, we could just change our relationships with like everybody and family. So,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we can. And it's not about blaming the other. It's just about acknowledging them and seeing their pain, and acknowledging your pain and releasing yourself and releasing them, because now they also are allowed to release themselves. So everything that you're perceiving right now, that is actually not yours, and you don't know how to release it or give it back to whoever whom this belongs to. Will you start releasing yourself from it right now? Mm-hmm. Everything that's holding this in place, good and bad, wrong and right, POC and POC, all nine, short boys and beyonds. And return to sender with consciousness attached. Mm-hmm. Thank you, everybody. That was awesome.
Thank you, Tamara, for your contribution from,
Vesna is also writing something. I don't know if she's answering that.
Yeah, you answer it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anybody else who has a question? Maybe you can raise your hand and we can unmute you. Otherwise, we're gonna.
Yeah, maybe Ursha has a question.
Yeah, I saw Ursha coming in.
But this is another Ursha. But
this is another Ursha. Yeah, I see it.
She is a really contribution, like, and maybe she has a question, or I already.
Okay. So if there are no questions more than this is the contribution I could be tonight for this call.
Yeah, thank you. You have been such a contribution. I perceive totally new space. And yeah, I'm still in the process. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm smiling, but a lot of things going on in my world right now. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you everyone, everybody. Even people from Netherlands, hi. You know, and there is one lady, she is like a potent creator as well, and she's Slovenian, but right now she's in Amsterdam. She's visiting her daughter, and she was today, she just write me an email, hi, wow, it's amazing, I'm here and Tamara is here, and I'm like, yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the Netherlands is like a potent paradise or something, because even Crystal Crawford is in the Netherlands right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Shannon is coming to the Netherlands, and Grace is coming to the Netherlands, and like, woohoo!
Oh, wow. And where is Crystal? I mean,
she's in Amsterdam as well. I'm meeting her tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Say hi to her.
I will. And Ellen, I saw you unmuted yourself. Do you want to make a contribution?
Yeah, well, for me, I thank you for this class. I mean, this was amazing. And family is like such an amazing topic, like huge. And just it was like during the exercise, it was more like I have a lot of stuff to say to my parents and to like some other people, but it was like more like there's like a lot of energy that I just cannot verbalize I couldn't verbalize during that exercise, which is like something huge, just like, and like, I just couldn't put it in words. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that. So
so are you willing to make it a reversed energy pool? So you create everything you mentioned, all the emotions, all the thoughts, feelings, and everything that is. Could you create an awesome object out of this? Just like maybe you can mold it into a flower, or mold it into a bowl, or mold it into something gorgeous. Just where your gratitude is in there. And you don't have to use words, you just have to hand over the energy.
Yeah, cool, thank you.
Yeah, sometimes, and this is why I do this visualization, because sometimes even the visualization is tough. You know, because there's so much energy coming up when even thinking about putting them in a chair. This is why I mentioned that this space between you and so who is making this lot of noise? I'm just gonna mute somebody that I just hit one mute button and it's gone. This is so funny. Okay. So,
are you aware maybe?
Yeah, maybe I'm just a little bit aware.
A little bit, yeah.
So this is why I put another words to it. So you just visualize this seat in a safe distance from you, so that you're not blown out of your own chair. Because sometimes there's just a lot of stuff going on. And if you could mold it in something beautiful, soft, and dense, maybe it's more easy for you to give it as a gift, to release yourself and present it as a gift. Not from, you're supposed to take this from me and you're supposed to take it back. More like, I'm presenting this gift to you so you can resolve everything that's holding you and blocking you as well.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I'm also like, as a chair, I'm in a disabled chair. It's for those who don't know me. I also am a firstborn. So, and like for my father, who's from Bosnia and from like different culture, for them, like firstborn and boy, it's like, it's everywhere in the world, like most of cultures, that it's like very significant. And then I basically like, I could say like I basically like crushed all their like worlds of my parents and like family and everyone else. So I'm aware of like a lot of stuff going. I just like cannot verbalize all that. I mean, like, so yeah, I'll do that. What you suggested.
Yeah, and can you please release yourself from the blame, shame, regret, and guilt that they put up on your being? Because I met you twice.
Yes.
I met you in Vienna and in Paris, and you're such an awesome contribution to this planet.
Thank you.
Yeah, serious, because you're sitting there in your wheelchair for 4 days with the Houston choice of possibility, of the Vienna choice of possibilities, and you're just sitting there being such a contribution for everybody. So everything that you believed or thought of as being real or possibly being real or possibly being your fault or to blame on you, or that you discourage them or put a heavy burden on them, would you please release yourself and acknowledge the potency?
Yes.
Yeah. My heart goes out to you, not because I feel sorry for you, but because you are such a beautiful energy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Got it.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for your contribution, Ellen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I can see 11 people in the chat. So what's going on?
They're just thanking. I mean, expressing gratitude for the class to you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, beautiful host Nadja, for contribution and bringing everybody up to this online call. I will convert this call ASAP to a YouTube link, and we'll send it out to everybody so that you can watch the replay. And I want to make special thanks for the people in the Netherlands also, because there are a few people from the Netherlands that have been sitting out this ride with me because they know I speak English and they know I normally speak Dutch to them. So dankjewel, lieve Nederlanders, dat jullie ook zo lang bij ons gebleven zijn.
Wow.
Super, super cool dat jullie er ook gewoon bij zijn. They're also my tribe and they're my fans. And I love them.
Wow. Yay.
Yeah. So everybody...
In hvala vsem Slovencem, tudi tistim, ko ne razumete angleško, pa ste prejemali energijo. Ful hvala za doprinos. Cool.
Yay. So thank you, everybody. I hope to meet you when I come into Slovenia in October to do this family constellation class with clearings and lots of more. And a bars class. We're going to hold a bars class as well, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe we meet again somewhere, somehow. Enjoy your evening and talk to you some other time.
Thank you.